I don't know what I was thinking. Did I take care of my body? No. Welcome to my COVID-19 marathon number 10, Maximum Effort Edition, where I will tell you the story of sunrise at Piton de Neiges. In June of 2019, I went to Easter Island to run the marathon, and there I met a girl from La Reunion, and which is right next door to Mauritius, and the following month I was going to be in Mauritius to run the marathon there. And I was like, hey, what a great idea to go to La Reunion and hook up with her and see what's going on there. So the number one thing to do in La Reunion is climb Piton de Neiges and see the sunrise, which is the highest volcano point of the island. It's an 8,600 feet altitude hike, and I planned it out. I was like, if I work this out properly, I can fly there, hike halfway up, camp at this refuge, go see the sunrise, and then hike back down and get back to Mauritius the next day. It's very difficult to plan from home over the internet because the bus, the website doesn't match the app schedules, and it's like this bus doesn't exist. Oh, it does on the website, but it doesn't on the app. Oh, this one exists on the app but not on the website. It was difficult to plan, but I did it. And the way that you do it is you fly into St. Pierre, and you take the S3 bus to St. Louis, and then the bus 60 to Silaus, and then bus 10 to the beginning of the hiking trail. So if everything goes smoothly, I could take the 8:20 a.m. flight from Mauritius to Reunion, and then hike up. Then the next day, take the 5:45 p.m. flight back to Mauritius. If everything went smoothly, it would work. 5 kilometer mark. Okay, so the plan is very tight. On July 15th, 8:20 a.m. flight to St. Pierre. St. Pierre, take 3 buses to the hiking trail, hike halfway up the mountain to the refuge, sleep, hike the way up to the rest of the mountain, watch the sunrise, hike all the way back down the mountain, take the 3 buses back to St. Pierre, get on the 5:45 p.m. bus back to Mauritius, or flight back to Mauritius. So I arrived in St. Pierre at 9:15 a.m. and I made my way across the 3 buses to the hiking trail. Now the second bus, the bus to Silaus, this is a city in like a crater of a volcano, kind of, it looks like. So this road up there is like twists and turns and tight tunnels, and it is a crazy drive. Holy crap. La Reunion is an island, so it's basically a bunch of volcano mountains, that's what it is. So I get off the last bus, bus 10, at 4 p.m. and there I am at the hiking trail to begin. Now, different people on the internet had different opinions as to how long this hike would take to get to the refuge halfway up the mountain. Some people said 3 hours, some people said 5 hours, and so whatever, but it didn't really matter because I'm on a tight schedule, right? So I start hiking, and the goal is to get to the refuge about, I think it's 80% of the way up maybe, where there's nothing but a bed and a hot meal if you want to pay a lot of money. 10 kilometers of maximum effort. All right, so on with the story. So at 4 p.m. I begin my hike up the mountain. And this hike is like any other mountain hike. It's like switchbacks, and about halfway up, rocks keep tumbling down, and it's a couple of kids who are on the switchback up above me, and one of them is just thinking it's so funny to kick some rocks down. None of them hit me, but that's how I met Matthew and his buddy. Now I had started with 100% on my cell phone, and the only thing I brought with me was the bare minimum, but the coldness, I was not prepared for the coldness and how much it can drain your battery, and let me tell you, it can drain your battery. So I get up to the refuge, and there's no electrical outlet, so I got like 30% of my battery, I don't know. Anyway, there's nothing to do up there except for go to sleep. But I get up there, and there is all these French hikers from France or La Reunion. This is the hike to do, and so I'm surrounded by a bunch of French guys, and they're all decked out, right? And they got all the hiking gear, and I'm just like me in my cargo shorts and my hoodie, So I'm like, oh boy, what did I get myself into here? So the summit to watch the sunrise is still a 2-hour hike from the refuge, and which means you got to wake up about 4 a.m. Which means I didn't want to turn off my cell phone because I wanted to make sure that my alarm went off and woke me up, right? Now I had no idea where I was going because I was, as well planned as I thought it was. I was more worried about getting there and the logistics than actually, getting up the mountain. So I wake up at 4 a.m. with everybody else, and since I don't know where I'm going, but Matthew and his buddy, they did know where they were going. So I was like, hey, can I go with you guys? And they were like, sure. So we go outside, it's pitch black. I got no flashlight. My battery's got like 20% on my phone. So I don't want to use that, but they lead me up the mountain and it's cool. We got up there just at the right perfect time, sunrise, and it was freezing and windy up there, and I lost them immediately because the first thing is it's so damn cold. You got to look for shelter, and a lot of previous summiters had built little caves or whatnot like that you could sit in, to protect yourself from the wind, like piled up rocks in circles, and then you sit there and watch the sunrise. So I sit in my rock enclosure by myself and I watch the sunrise, and it was beautiful and breathtaking, as you would expect. So now the challenge is to get all the way back down the mountain to catch the 10 bus at 10:10. I'm just saying, 30 years ago, this would have been a catastrophe. All your DVDs, either that or some deuce just doesn't know where the trash can is. 15-kilometer mark, that's 9.3 miles of maximum effort. And back to the story. All right, so I hauled ass down the mountain and I got to the bus stop at 10:08 a.m., which was perfect because that means I had 2 minutes to spare. So I stood at the bus stop, and here came the bus, and there went the bus. Now where I live, the bus stops at every stop no matter what. But this is not the case in most parts of the world, and this is how I learned that if you want the bus to stop, then you better so that they know to stop. But now was not the time to be learning any lessons, no. So remember, I had to catch 3 buses total back to the airport for my 5:45 flight. So missing this bus wasn't just we'll wait and catch the next bus situation. It was bigger than that. My flight from Mauritius to back home was the next day, so I couldn't be missing this 5:45 flight from La Reunion back to Mauritius. So if I miss this flight, then I might wind up missing my flight back home, which then there we go. But what could I do right now other than wait for the next bus, which was to come at 11? And who knows what's going on with the other 2 buses. Halfway done, 13.1 miles of maximum effort. Back to the story. I got like an hour to wait for the bus ride, and time is critical right now for making it back to my flight. So I'm thinking I better hitch a ride. But the way the road is situated, it's on a bend. So by the time I see a car coming in the direction I need to go, it's already gone. So it's like there it is. Oh, whoops, missed. Now, some people drove to the base of the hiking trail, and so there's some cars out there, and I noticed that people are slowly coming down the mountain and getting in their cars and driving away, and I'm thinking I gotta find a ride with one of them. But a lot of the groups were 4 people and only room for 4 in this tiny little car, or it's a single woman or something, and it's like either there's no room for me or almost got ran over. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I don't want to bother a single woman and make her feel uncomfortable that hey, here's a single man saying, hey, can I get a ride? So I'm starting to get worried here. I'm getting worried. It's 25-kilometer mark, and I need me some BCAAs and some BioFreeze and a banana. Effort not maximum. Come on, RT, pick up those feet. 30-kilometer mark, which is 18.6 miles. 18.6 miles of maximum. A lot of a good amount of effort. All right, so I'm stuck here at the bus station, right? What to do, but then here comes Matthew and his friend down the mountain, and despite being worried about my flight and everything like that, I asked them how they were doing and thanked them for their being good ambassadors and helping me up the mountain to see the sunrise. And then I asked them if maybe they had a bus schedule or something like that they could help me figure out how to get back into the airport. And they didn't know anything, and they didn't really seem concerned. You know, they had something else on their mind, and that's cool. So, you know, I returned to the bus station. But then, like a minute later, a car pulls up, and the two kids hop inside, and they're sitting there. And then, you know, suddenly the door opens back up, and Matthew jumps out and he says, "Hey, you want to ride?" And I was like, "Sure." And like, you know, the dad puts in a park, and he gets out, and he's got his cell phone, and he doesn't speak, you know, too good at English, but he does, and he's trying to explain to me and show me the news of the day, which is that there's a rock slide, and buses can't get through, but cars can. And remember, because I told you, to get to Sea Louse, you got to go through some crazy tunnels and windy roads and stuff like that. So little cars can make it, but buses couldn't. So I get in their car, and they're excited to see an American, because not too many Americans make it to La Reunion. And they're asking me about what I do and where I live, and, you know, do I know any movie stars and stuff, you know. And they told me about their trips to New York and Colorado and Los Angeles and what they thought of it, and they liked America. Now, a part of me was a little bit nervous because I didn't know where we're going. I got no battery on my phone, so I can't pull up Maps.me and you know, try and figure out, are we on the way to the airport or not? I don't know, so I'm just trusting. So I shut off my phone because, you know, if there's a few percent left, and what if I need to make an emergency phone call or something like that, I better have those few percent left. It's mile 21. My left quad is not having it. I don't know what I was thinking. Maximum effort. Did I take care of my body last week? No. Did I eat properly last week? No. Did I get enough sleep last night? No. I can do it. I can do it. This is exactly what I need. Some Advil and some beer. Oh God, that's so good. It's so good. I'm ready. I'm back. 35-kilometer mark. It's about mile 22. All right, so I'm with the family in the car, and I'm feeling pretty safe because, you know, they're a family. And it was getting on in the afternoon, so, you know, they wanted to stop and get lunch, and they offered to buy me lunch. And I said, no, I just really want to get to the airport, because after all that, I didn't care if I was going to be there 3 hours early. I'll sit and wait, because I'd rather be there and wait 3 hours and make it to my flight and get back to Mauritius and get back home than to, you know, deal with all that. So they dropped me off at the airport, and I thanked them a lot, and I told them they were very good ambassadors for Reunion, and I told them that I would tell people when I got home that, you know, people there are really nice, and they should go visit. And the dad said, no, we don't want anyone to know about our little paradise here. And so he asked me not to tell anybody, and so forget you heard that. Mile 24. Now, I like this story I just told you because it describes about, you know, the adventures of solo traveling and how things seem to work. Not necessarily work out, but sometimes they work out, and sometimes it's just how things work. So if we deconstruct the story, I mean, I planned everything down like to the minute, you know, very carefully, as best I could, to the point where it was like, seems like it will work. And even my friends in Mauritius were like, give it a go and see what happens. And I had actually, had I actually gone down the volcano and gone down the trail and made the bus, I would have got to Sea Louse and or I would have gotten to, yeah, and then I wouldn't be able to get out of Sea Louse because the buses were stopped. And then would I have to call a taxi? Would the bus people know what to tell me at the bus station? How much would a taxi cost? I could have been stuck there due to the rock slide. But instead, I made some local friends, and they came through for me, and I caught my flight, made it back to my friends in Mauritius, and that was the mission, and it was completed successfully. So I think it's a great story. Oh boy, it's getting hot out. That's 25 miles of maximum effort. Time to put on my victory music. Finish this thing. 26.2.
Something's happening, folks. There seems to be a bit of confusion. His feet are not stopping. He is still going, folks. Looks like he's resetting his victory music. Oh my God, he is giving, folks, he is giving it 110%. Maximum effort indeed.
Bob, you really got to hand it to the guy. A couple miles ago, he was ready to give up. He was not feeling the maximum effort, but here he is. He's still going, giving it 110%. You can't deny that ambition.
I think you're right, Johnson. RT was hinting that maybe this will be his last COVID-19 marathon, 10 in 10 weeks. Seeing as country's starting to open up, I think maybe that was the plan. But I gotta say, he's going out with a bang here.
28.82, 110%. I hope you guys like this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe to give me a medal. Let me know that you enjoyed it, and see you next time, maybe.